It might be a bit too windy to do this today. I've just popped out for a picnic lunch. I'm very fortunate in that the place where I live in the tiny house is in a very beautiful part of Derbyshire called Millersdale, and I'm on a proper site with facilities including a very nice cafe bar. I've even seen an Elvis impersonator there one Saturday night. And I made a sandwich, a cheese and tomato sandwich and a banana sandwich for pudding. And I've just followed my nose down through the grounds of the local youth hostel down to the river. I've always been attracted to rivers since I was a kid, and I went camping 4 or 5 times in the summer for 2 or 3 weeks. My father's school camp with the boys. He was a teacher at an all-boys school, and we used to go down to the River Wye in Monmouthshire, camping under canvas, canoeing and playing volleyball and what do you call it when you go underground? Potholing. Yes, I've been in some quite deep potholes in my youth. I've been in some deep potholes of my own making in my adulthood. That's another story. That was the River Wye in Monmouthshire, but what you can hear behind me, well, behind the wind also, is the River Wye, but not that Wye. There is a second River Wye here in Derbyshire which goes through Bakewell and also through Millersdale where I am now. So I've just sat on the steps by the bridge, by the river, with the sound of the river, eating my sandwiches and, well, pondering, but mostly thoughtless. But one thought that did come to me is how I seem to be regressing into childhood. Not least going back to rivers where when I was 10 I caught a 3-pound chub in the River Wye, which was quite a triumph. I was on my own and I thought I'd snagged some weeds from the river, but it wasn't. It was a nice healthy 3-pound chub, which may be a bit of a star for the day. As a 10-year-old child, it was a whopper. And so somebody called me out on being like a child just recently, and I took it as a compliment. There's that verse where the disciples try and shush the children away from Jesus as though they were a nuisance. And Jesus said, suffer little children, don't stop them coming, suffer little children to come unto me, for of such is the kingdom of God. And in another place, does he not say, unless you become as a little child, you cannot enter the kingdom of God? So the more childish I seem to become, I reckon the better chance I've got. The sun's shining on me. I love the sound of the river. I'm not so keen on the sea and waves. That's a bit too deep for me. When I was a lad, I had 2 brothers and still have 2 brothers and 2 sisters. My dad bought a rickety caravan, and it was sited on a farm in a place called the Fairy Glen at Apley Bridge near Wigan, and we'd go for long weekends. And because there were 7 of us, only so many could sleep in the caravan, and the rest of us in 1 or more tents outside in the farmer's field. Mr. Hunter, who very tragically we learned later when we didn't go again, that he was gored to death by his own bull, and his son Clifford never got over it. He's a bit of a recluse. So there's just a tale from my childhood. But in the Fairy Glen, I had my favourite apple tree, and I used to, as often as I could, escape my noisy brothers and sisters and climb to the top of this apple tree. It wasn't that tall, it wasn't that big, to be honest, but I just loved the quiet. And as I regress in my childhood these days, I notice I gravitate towards the quiet. I mean, I've just been sitting on my own on a step on the banks of the river by this bridge, happy as a sandboy. The motto is, if you want to enter the kingdom of heaven, become as a little child. I'm just going to see if I can find an ice cream. Oh, I've just seen a fish jump as well. That's a bonus. Just an addendum to this. So, what is the difference between a childish outlook, or the outlook of a child, and the outlook of an adult? Well, apart from physiology and growing up and being distracted by all sorts of things, isn't it that the childish mind is much more present and less stuffed full of learned and mostly second-hand concepts, whereas the adult mind, well, my adult mind is stuffed full like a sock drawer of half a dozen YouTubes every morning over my muesli. Now, I enjoy the videos and their contents as much as the muesli, but I'm like a four-stomached cow. I'm constantly chewing my cud. Now, that suits me, the cud of ideas and concepts. And of course, because I'm writing this book, Mistaken Identity and Consciousness, I'm stuffing it all into my sock drawer. But childhood isn't, or I hope it's not, like that. Everything's much more in the moment. If you're in the supermarket or in a cafe and there's a child that is, we say up north, mithering, moaning, I'm sure you've discovered, like me, that the easiest way to stop them moaning is just to distract them with anything. It doesn't matter. Make a glove puppet out of a serviette, anything. And the childish mind is easily distracted by something else in the moment, and that's me all along. See ya. I'm back in the tiny house now, the morning after, but this quote from Maurice Sendak, that delightful children's storybook writer and illustrator, famous for my favourite children's book, not just reading it to my children, but for myself, Where the Wild Things Are. He says this: there are so many adults who enjoy a book for children but are vaguely embarrassed at enjoying it, as though only their children should enjoy it, and there's something strange about them enjoying it, which is such an odd twisting and distortion of the pleasure of having your child self intact and alive and something to be proud of. Are you proud of your child self? I think I am. It's got me this far. When I was a child, one of my favourite imaginations was going to the gate at the end of our garden in my shorts. I remember I'm in my shorts and sandals, and beyond the gate was a wild field, and I have this picture of my young self at that threshold of the gate, from the cultivated to the wild, with a butterfly net. And I guess in my own way, as an adult, I have gone exploring with my butterfly net, and this is one of the results. What's your inner child? Is it still intact?